know what we call this in the United States? God's ketchup, right there.
I've never heard that before. I think he just made it up.
Is this how the other half lives all the time?
One of those things just never happened.
When somebody rips one, you know it, and it's not yours.
It was like Bugs Bunny when you like smelled the carrot soup.
That is the most random thing. What are you talking about?
It's impossible.
Overseasoned, and we are back here with Tony Ayazi, and I'm, depending on the country I'm in, I'm Javier, Xavi, Xavier, or Savi.
Or you're from...
Wherever I need to be, Tony. Wherever I need to be.
I'm from Florida. I grew up in Philadelphia.
I say Florida now because that feels the most
also
authentic answer is
New
if people
Jersey,
say, where are you from? I'm from Florida.
Yeah.
I'm from Florida right now. No?
Okay.
What?
Ish.
Well, what would you say? Where am I from? Why don't
You're
you
from
say?
New Jersey.
Okay. I'm from New Jersey.
But right?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
You didn't grow up in New Jersey.
Well, I grew up in between Cherry Hill and Deptford. I did, but at like 10 years old, I'm
It doesn't
in
feel...
Philadelphia.
You don't identify with growing up in New Jersey.
It's one of those things where people always say, you're not from Philly, but I could see Philly. I could literally, when in Westville, where I was growing up, I could see Philly skyline. You know what I mean?
So can everyone in North Jersey see the Manhattan skyline. They're not from New York.
Fair enough. All right.
You can re-identify.
I'm a Jersey.
I'm a Jersey. So you grew up in Philadelphia. It's cool.
I'm a Jersey.
All right.
I'm a Jersey.
Where'd you go to high school?
Gloucester Catholic.
Interesting.
Gloucester Catholic.
When did you move to Philadelphia the first time? When did you move out of New Jersey?
So the first Philly living situation was at 8 years old.
Ah.
At 9th and Carpenter.
Okay. I can see how you can mix it up a little bit.
And then the second full-time living situation was in my mid-20s. But that's where I lived from that point on for 15 years, 10 years.
You're kind of homeless right now.
I am kind of homeless. I'm Florida-ish.
Florida-ish.
I'm Florida-ish. West Coast Florida-ish.
He's taxed in Florida. That's all that's important.
Yeah,
or not taxed. One of those.
Correct. No, I mean, listen, Florida's. I'm liking Florida. I'm realizing how much I love the sun. I'm realizing how much I love not paying sales tax, and I really love the access to fish.
Yeah,
it's really good fish. But so Tony, we were trying to on our last podcast talk about the old guard, the pressures of restaurant. We've been out how long now?
It devolved quickly into sandwiches.
It really
this
did.
one probably will too.
I'm sure. Yeah. For any of you listeners out there that are looking for closure, you're not going to get it.
Nope.
But it's okay. We'll try. So Tony, when you were, I just used the example of, so we went on our tangent as soon as we went into serious restaurants, right? The word serious completely threw us off. But your first serious restaurant was in New York when? In 1997, right? You said that because of the... Okay.
But I mean, anyway.
Your first serious restaurant.
My full-time job, yeah.
It was your full-time job?
Well, because I worked in Paris before that.
Okay.
In my externship. So that was like a 3 or 4 month gig.
That was a 3 or 4 month gig.
In the middle of school.
Got it. Okay.
That was pretty serious.
It was pretty serious. Yeah.
I just didn't get paid.
Right. That's what I think. I think when there are, maybe that is the line. It's a serious restaurant. Serious. When
you're coming on your days off and for free.
When there are people within the restaurant not getting paid by choice.
Right.
That's a serious
restaurant.
Just to learn. That's a serious restaurant. Okay, so you spent years and years in New York, right? I mean, was your first gig at Oreo?
Yeah.
And you met a lot of great friends there, right?
Yeah, of course.
What was your first? Was it like a shocking experience to come to Oreo and work there? Because I think 97 was right around when they wanted James Beard and all that stuff, right?
I think it was just before that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's one of the hottest restaurants in New York at the time. I'm sure there's people all dying to work there. What was it like before you had landed there? What was it like in Paris? Because you worked in one place in Paris, or did you work
two separate times? So
2 separate times?
I worked at a place called Lucas Carton.
Which is a very fancy restaurant, right?
Right.
Okay.
It was like the top rated. I've told this story before. I wrote like 40 letters for my externship. We didn't have Google Translate or anything back then, so I got somebody who spoke French to write me a letter, and I just kind of copy pasted that over and over and sent out 40 letters. And a lot of them came back and they said, unfortunately, we don't have space, that kind of thing. And then the day before I left.
Look at the old days, Tony.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the days when free labor was not accepted?
Right.
Now you can't even get paid labor.
They had a certain amount of space for stagiaires, right? And it was 2 or 3. And if they didn't have space, they didn't have space. There was plenty of people who wanted to come work there on extended engagements.
Yeah.
So it was, it wasn't.
So you didn't end up at Luca Carton, or you did?
No, I did. I just didn't get accepted. I was already going. I already was getting on the flight the next day, and then I got the acceptance letter, and I didn't even know which one it was. I had to go to the Red Book and like look and see which one had accepted me, and like I wasn't even looking at the top ones. I was like just looking around Bib Gourmand or whatever, all the ones that I had.
Oh, the Red Book. You mean
and
the
I
Michelin
kept going
book?
up, yeah. And then I saw it was like the top rated restaurant in Paris, and I freaked out.
Were you excited?
Terrified.
Terrified.
Yeah.
And what was do you have any recollection of what the shifts were like back then? Like what was a stagiaire shift?
Stagiaire wasn't required to come in on Saturdays.
But did you?
No.
Oh, nice.
Because there was only dinner service on Saturdays.
Look at you having boundaries.
I know. Well, I just did what I was told. But you worked 2 shifts. I think you got there at 7:30 or 8 or something in the morning.
Okay.
And then you'd have a break about 2 hours, depending on how quickly that last lunch table was finished and how fast you cleaned up your space. I think you'd come back at 5 or something like that.
Come back at 5 and then work till midnight, something like that?
Yeah, 11, midnight, something.
Okay, cool. So these were, it sounds like in today's terms, they're pretty grueling shifts.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you'd work there, and then what was the other place? Hélène Darroze, right?
Yeah, that was years later.
And that's in Paris? Or
yes.
That was also in Paris. And was that a similar type of shift?
They had just started doing something with labor controls there.
Oh.
So they'd have...
the hammer was coming down?
I think it was kind of meant more to deal with unemployment, to like make sure you had to hire more people.
Oh, interesting.
Instead of just working one staff that much. I don't think it was about the goodness of, making sure people had
it was
time off. I think it was like they needed to reduce unemployment.
Interesting.
I'm assuming.
Okay.
So I think it was 38 hours. I feel like it was something like that. I can't quite remember, but...
Is that 38 hours, like 38 hours with the air quotes?
Yeah, so you'd have these different... I got to work much more at that time because I was off the books, basically. I was a stagiaire and I wasn't on payroll. So I would get more shifts.
Did you just say I got to?
Yeah.
And did you feel that way? Were you excited to spend more time in the kitchen at that point?
Of course, I got to be the saucier. I was like running the kitchen at a certain point.
Right. Do you think if Hélène Darroze, if you bumped into her in the street, was she there ever?
All the time. Like
she was.
Chefs work just as hard as the cooks, for sure.
And do you think she'd remember you? You've got ravishing blue eyes.
I doubt that.
Are they blue or aqua blue? What are they? I would remember those.
I don't think so. There's a lot of people coming out. Yeah. So they'd have these like small shifts and big shifts, I believe they were called. So you would work a big shift, which might satisfy the 38 hours or whatever it was like a requirement of law. But then they'd have these they'd go work somewhere else.
Oh, really?
For a little shift, right?
Oh,
I don't know legally how that worked necessarily, but if a chef had like 4 restaurants, they could work between the 2, I think. Or they just have another job. So there was some kind of deal making happening there.
I love this.
Between restaurants.
Got it.
But so I got to be something of a stable...
You were a
saucier.
big shifter.
I just came every day.
Okay. So the reason I asked this is, let's just imagine in a brand new zombie apocalypse, we're at the podcast network in Manila and we walk outside and... somebody says, AI has taken over everything. You no longer have a job in technology because now technology is eating itself and you guys are out. But
So we've lost
everything.
jobs. Okay.
We've lost everything. Now you must go back to the last full-time career that you had.
Okay.
Right? So you got to go back to being a chef and I've got to go back to being a wine director.
All right.
All right. So what would you do? What kind of things would you look at?
Why can't I be the wine director and you be the chef?
Well, first, let's just say, like, I don't think the culinary world is ready for me.
I don't think they are either.
I don't think they are. And, you know, when you were talking...
I would just like to go back and, you know, change the menu on you.
I would enjoy that, actually.
Yeah,
I would execute flawlessly and with a smile. You know, I'd be the diplomat of the boch, of the back of the house. I would feed all the front of the house people.
You'd be working some angle, that's for sure.
Well, you know what I would be doing? I would be the ultimate peacekeeper.
Okay.
You know? Probably getting absolutely nothing done, but everyone would be smiling.
So we have to go back to our jobs.
So if we're going back to our jobs, what kind of things, like you just mentioned the little shift. Is there a French word for that? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Like a petit shift?
I don't remember.
Okay. So if you had to go back to restaurants, what kind of things are you looking for? And what kind of things, like what kind of restaurant do you think you'd want to work in? Like, how do you...
I would reduce the menu. Easily.
Okay.
Fewer choices. No doubt about it.
Is there a style or a type that you can see yourself in? Like, let's say like of the 10 restaurants you've eaten in, or, you know, hundreds, I'm sure, over the last couple of years, is there a style that really resonates with you?
I don't know what you really call it. Like, I mean, American style cuisine, I guess, you know, which is French based in technique. That's what I know, right? It's like not Indian or Thai or anything like that.
Okay.
Just
So like French American food.
Sure.
French American food, like a regional food.
Yeah.
Would you do like? Would you like it to be
seasonal?
Okay.
Not necessarily regional. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So,
but fewer choices. I think we've talked about that.
Okay.
Bits and pieces along the way, how we tend to appreciate places with like fewer choices, or they just seem to me they're obviously easier to run and to staff and to everything.
Yes.
As opposed to having like 10 apps, 10 entrees, 3 specials, 5 desserts. You know, you have to carry so much inventory. Yeah. On a nightly basis to make sure, and so much work to make sure that inventory is maintained for it not to be sold out all the time. That it gets onerous from an expense standpoint to manage, and from all kinds of standpoints.
So, with this in mind, what do you think? Knowing now what you know, having tasted the glory, the freedom, the sweetness of quality of life, what do you think? Let's say you're a chef, brand new chef. Let's say it's going to be in New York. Let's just say that's where it is.
New York City?
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. You have to go back to New York City.
Look, we're adding,
layers,
pain and terror onto this at the same time.
Yeah.
No.
So you got to go back to New York City.
No.
Okay, so where's it going to be? Okay, I've already told
somewhere
you
where
some horrible
I can,
news.
Grow some stuff, somewhere that's a little bit more of like an easier, where there's a little bit more of a lifestyle outside of the restaurant also. But it could be, or surrounding the restaurant, but, people can park in the front.
Maybe
there can be a nice little garden.
Maybe the evil
maybe
genie.
Some chickens. You know?
I understand. Yeah,
like some fruit trees, something like a little bit of a garden-centric type of a thing. I love that stuff.
That sounds real nice.
And then you're occupying a different part of your.
What you just did was you just made.
I just made this into my retirement home.
Eden.
Instead of a job.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds nice. Yeah. So, okay. Because I was going to say maybe the evil genie is just going to be like, all right, you want fucking herbs? You just bought yourself a hydroponic garden in the basement of your New York restaurant. But okay, let's grant you this. You're going to be working on beautiful grounds.
Yes.
Grounds where there's hopefully
a kitchen with some space.
Oh, yeah.
Storage space.
I like this. I like all the things you're describing.
Like a locker room that's nice for changing.
What? Yeah. That sounds incredible.
Not working on wine crates and cases of things with...
Understood.
Yeah,
I get that.
Okay.
So when do you think it's an appropriate time for chef to come in? Like when should chef show up? Now that you've got your new perspective
Are you
on
doing
life,
lunch and dinner?
you tell me.
It kind of depends, you know.
Let's so let's say the goal
Lunch
is
and dinner
to,
stuff. I would
let's
like to
say
do
you
dinner
get
only.
you get 20% of all the revenue. Let's say that's how the compensation goes.
Okay.
So
I would do dinner only.
dinner only.
Yeah.
Okay.
But an early dinner. Closed at 8.
So you got like a 5:30 turn and a last seating's at 7:30.
Sounds good to me.
It kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're doing like a limited menu of classics, or just like, hey, we got
I
a
wouldn't call it
chicken
a
and
limited
pork and a
menu.
steak.
Just, this is what we're going to concentrate on, and yeah, you'd have a steak, a fish, and
All right, so you're
poultry.
dinner only. What time is chef coming
What
in?
I would really like to do is just one menu. That's it.
One
Like
menu,
no
that's it.
choices, just one menu. We've talked about this on and on and on.
I know, but it sounds like what you're doing.
I would do that.
What you're creating is.
I want my dream restaurant, and you want me to go back to the.
Well, listen, maybe
How am I going to work with the?
maybe the dream
past?
restaurant is the way to do it. Maybe it's the only way that you don't have nightmares this
Probably
evening.
make the same amount of money.
Nothing, right? Yes,
Right?
20% of nothing is nothing. So either way, you might as well do what you want.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'd leave the money making to the wine director to bring that cash in.
Fair enough. And so okay, so you're doing dinner only, but you're doing an early dinner turn.
Seatings.
Are you,
I love the seating thing.
you do?
Like where we went in Korea, or not Korea,
Vietnam.
Vietnam. No,
Oh, sorry, Thailand.
it's so hard to keep these things straight with our world travelings.
God,
Right, they had a 5:30 seating.
Okay.
And then they probably did like an 8 o'clock
at
seating.
Sambar.
Yes.
Okay.
Samrup.
Sam. It's a lot to keep all these languages together in one place in one.
It's so great. It's the way to pace service out. The kitchen just works on one dish at a time. You could see them like staging the next thing.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
It runs so smoothly. The wait staff can have time to explain everything to you.
It turns into a very refined.
It's also kind of like a shared experience for everybody.
Yeah,
there,
that's true.
You know?
Everybody gets their same dish at the same time, and
Like you can ask them what to do. Like some things we didn't know. There came with some direction about how to eat it that we didn't quite understand.
so we're sitting next to this.
What language are they speaking?
No fucking clue.
No
I
idea.
was.
They'd switch to English for some reason between each other, and then also flop to the whatever kind of
It sounded like
Eastern European, though, something.
Flaggenflugens. There's always like that Flaggenflugensnagner. Like there's a weird. All those Nordic languages. It might have been Eastern European, but it definitely wasn't a Romance language. That I will tell you.
I thought I started thinking it was like they were South Africans at a certain point, but I couldn't.
Oh.
Like there's Boer, whatever that language is, that Dutch brand.
I was gonna say, was it Afrikaans? They didn't look like they spoke Afrikaans.
Well, if they're.
Is that what it is? Afrikaans?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. They were definitely speaking some interesting stuff, and then they would, like you said, they would like go into a little bit of English, and then they would flop right out into some language that
Couldn't place it.
absolutely not. If they walked in with that language,
Flemish.
maybe it was Flemish. It was.
I would have no idea what Flemish sounds like.
It's one of those languages that honestly, like, and I don't know why my head goes here, but when I hear these languages that are like, indistinguishable from of course Asian languages, I don't have no idea what they're talking like in the Thai is this use of like your pharynx, is that a word?
Sure.
And like your throat, and it's just kapang, like you use stuff that you don't use in English.
Different intonations mean different things.
And I hear that a lot with Chinese family that I've got, and so there's all kinds of interesting stuff. But with European or Caucasian looking people that speak a language that I have no idea what it is, my head always goes to like a war scene where they're yelling at me. They caught me somewhere in like the field, and they're like, like plug and haul, and I'm like, what? And it just hands up, and I have no idea what's happening. I don't know why. It's because I can't communicate with them, and and it's just, it feels, all those Nordic languages feel very Like, I'm looking at you and you better fucking answer. And I'm like, I don't know what you're asking. Anyway, so they were next to us, and I felt I was saddened. They didn't finish any of their courses.
I would notice that too.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So we're eating this beautiful Thai food from one of the hardest to get reservations in town. Thank you, Colleen. You're the best. And we're like in the middle of these beautiful dishes, and then these two next to me aren't finishing whole lumps of crab.
I know. They're
literally like chunks of like beautiful freaking steak and stuff, and I'm like, what is happening? Of course, it's it's the reason why I can't lose weight. I mean, if you give it to me, it's being consumed.
Straight in the maw.
But this is just because I feel like it's my duty. It's my civic duty to
happy plates.
Nothing goes to waste.
So
it makes sense that they'd be South Africans.
What?
You ever? Because I look at them, and you know what I would have said if like I see like they ordered the pad thai, and so this pad thai was this beautiful plate
it was
of
an
like
extra dish. So,
but it was a beautiful plate.
Extra apart from the tasting menu. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
No. So there's this beautiful plate of pad thai with like big lumps of crab meat, and like this beautiful pad thai that it's like it's a showstopper of a pad thai, and they had one bite. And I think all of us entitled Americans look at each other when there's food left on the table, and you go, starving children in Africa, and you're like, you know what? Yes, I will eat that huge chunk of porterhouse and destroy my digestion. If I would have said that to them, what do you think they would have said if they were South African? They'd have been like, yeah, I know. Just another Tuesday in Cape Town.
So what is he? So we're deviating again, far afield.
So we're building your restaurant. So you're doing a tasting menu.
You're doing a tasting menu. Yeah, a set menu.
A set menu.
Not a tasting menu. It doesn't have to be 5, 6, 8 courses. It could be 3 courses.
Okay.
Somewhat family style.
Okay.
Not individual plates.
Okay.
Nice.
3 courses, 4 courses kind of thing?
Probably like an initial kind of hors d'oeuvre type course, some small bites just to kind of
because we don't want to call them canapes because it's not that fancy of a place.
No, it's not that fancy.
What are we calling them? What do you call hors d'oeuvres? I guess at a party setting, but yeah, they're like little welcome bites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something to like get things going while you're setting everything else up. It's a timing. It's a pacing thing.
Understood.
You know what I mean?
Understood.
Throw the dogs a little red meat so they calm down a little bit.
A hush puppy.
Yeah, a hush
if you
puppy,
will.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, a salad, a main course, whatever's kind of around that day. Could be fish, could be pork, could be steaks.
Interesting.
That's how I like to eat.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
And that's
a little bit of everything.
That's how I like to cook.
Okay.
It solves so many questions for the diner as well.
All right, so Tony,
you can have pairings specifically for the dishes of wines and things.
You get to have one tree, okay? Because I am the genie, and
tree?
Listen, all right. You're making a lot of requests here.
Uh-huh.
It's a zombie apocalypse outside,
and we're gonna have a beautiful place out somewhere.
But listen,
to weather the storm.
So you don't want to work in New York. I let you have that.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna put this restaurant in upstate New York somewhere for you. Okay.
Great, yeah.
But you said you wanted to have all this stuff. You get to have one tree, my friend. What is the one fruit bearing or tree of your choosing that you're going to have?
One.
That's it, my friend. You get 3 wishes, not 17,000. Because you already said, I want dinner only and early dinner. There's your one wish. Then you don't want it to be in New York City. You want it to be on a beautiful Garden of Eden.
Acres with one tree.
It sounds like parking's not going to be a problem.
Nope.
And so you have your acres, but let's say you can have one thing.
Could it be anything that could grow if I choose?
You know what? Jeannie says yes. You can grow whatever you want. One thing. You want a fucking pineapple in the middle of upstate New York? Jeannie says fine.
It's not a tree.
Well, you know what?
This is opening
okay,
up a lot
fine.
of
Then it has to be a tree. It has to be a
This
tree.
is opening up a lot of things. You can go tropic. You could go apples, of course. I'm going to choose apple tree.
Is there any specific type of apple, or do you expect that Genie's going to make an apple tree for you that has every apple on it?
Well, you can do that.
That'd be pretty cool.
You can splice different branches on.
You can do that?
Yeah, you can have a tree with 5 different kinds of fruit on it.
Shut up.
Yes.
Why did I just find this out?
This is what the
You're
show's-
lying to me.
I'm not lying to you.
So you could have one tree that has Honeycrisp and green apples and
Pears
and pink ladies.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I'm gonna throw this microphone. You can grow a pear on a tree.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't tried
Apple
that.
tree.
But you can like do the espadrille trees. You know, have the trees that look like grapevines almost. You grow them so that they grow straight out, so they don't get that high. You never seen that?
Why doesn't everybody do
You can
this?
splice an apple each onto.
Let me guess.
branch.
Then you can add just cherries on one side if you wanted to.
Perhaps. I'm not sure about that.
I don't even know if this is.
It's true.
Wait,
So I get one tree, but I'll get 4 or 6 different kind
this
of
is
apples
real?
out of it.
This is real right now.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's how they make a lot of like doing rootstocks. They make rootstocks that will grow in certain conditions, but don't have great fruit on them from that certain kind of tree. And then they'll graft a different kind of tree onto the rootstock.
Like wine.
Well, if it works for grapes, why doesn't it work for anything else?
I didn't know that trees and vines had such.
Yeah.
Humans are fucking wild, man.
So you can get like a lot of the
Who
trees.
figured this out?
Millennia of, something has a better drought resistance, for example,
Right.
and you'll take that rootstock and put a different kind of tree on it.
The tree of life.
Sure.
My God.
Or like dwarf rootstocks and things that just won't grow them as large. There's all kinds of different ones.
I'm constant-
It's talk about a rabbit hole. You can go down these
I am
different
constantly
kinds of rootstocks
baffled,
for a long
Tony.
time.
So you have a miracle apple tree.
Yes. And pomegranates too. Let's throw some pomegranates on there.
You want a lemon on there?
Yeah.
I do. Okay. All right. So you're doing so we're doing an appetizer or no. We're doing a little hors d'oeuvre snack.
Something to get people going and buy yourself some time, as I said,
Okay.
And then a main course of, do you have to choose? Like you could
No,
do like
I understand what you're saying.
right? Like
Yeah.
you could do
sea bass
roasted
with
chickens.
ramps. or you
Roasted
could
chickens
do,
would be like once a week. You do roasted chickens on Thursday or Friday or whatever. One of the best restaurants I ever went to
Yeah.
was in, and I know I've talked about this before, but I think it was in Zurich or something. That was called Chez Ma Cuisine, Cousin, like House of My Cousin.
Oh.
They only had roast chicken. That was it.
Was it amazing?
It was amazing. You can get roast chicken, and then the choices were of the sauces you want, a salad, and like some fried potatoes. But that was it. So you show up, you get your chicken, you go. It was great.
But you like sit at a table. and all
One
that
guy in
stuff,
the
right?
kitchen. Yeah, it's a restaurant.
Okay, yeah, it's that. You said you'd show up, you get your chicken, and you go.
Well,
I'm
sure they have.
I'm like, are
to
they
go,
kicking
should
you out?
Want? No, but the thing is that the dining experience is so truncated because there are no choices that you can actually do more covers much more simply with the
Sure.
small staff. Like you have
Sure.
one cook back there and somebody running the dining room, and you don't need an army.
Right. Man.
So,
Yes.
your restaurant of choice. I'm not going to stick you in like.
I would do a big, beautiful grill, a wood fire grill, and I'm doing just delicious, simple classics.
Okay.
So I would also do a set menu. And I think
Would
what
it
I would
change?
do, I think I would do a seasonal update surrounded by a grill, but always doing my best to represent a cuisine from a place.
Okay.
So,
But where is this
let's
going
call
to be?
it.
It's going to be in the back alley of Philadelphia,
If I had to do a restaurant,
Deptford.
Deptford doesn't deserve anything. Deptford is just a barren wasteland of pig farms and moles. It's quite a place. No, that's like your New York. There's no place I'd rather not be than Deptford, New Jersey, ever again in my life. Where would I like to do this place? Honestly, I'd love to open a spot like this.
I can't even believe you're thinking about this.
In the Basque Country, yeah, of course. Right in the middle.
Going through all these mental...
Right in the middle. Listen, man, I love San Sebastian so much. You know this.
Yes.
It just rains.
Oh.
And it's so... I've really come to love the sun. I've really come to love the sun. And Florida's sun is so nice. And so it's like, can I have the mountains and can I have
all these
the
things
ocean?
you're giving me with my thing, and you don't want to go to a place that rains too much.
Right.
You're not going to go to San Sebastian. It's not where your dream restaurant is going to be. You don't want to be there. You want to be in Florida.
It is. No, it is.
I just want to clarify that.
Hurricanes. It is. You're right.
You have to move out of your mom's house at some time.
We need to talk through this sometimes.
Yeah. We keep coming back there, though. You know what I mean?
All right.
Like,
So
just do it.
Yeah, you're right. So what I would do, big, beautiful wood fire grill in the center, and keep this thing super simple.
What kind of wood do they use in?
So they use charcoal, and it's interesting. There's a lot of restaurants that use vine clippings, like old dried rootstock that can no longer bear fruit. Yeah. Like
really?
Yeah.
On the grill, like to burn.
Yeah. They'll use the old vine clippings, or like
vine
when they're
clippings
pruning.
I get, but roots.
Sometimes you got to pull them, yeah.
Huh.
So they'll use all that kind of stuff. There's definitely pine, which you wouldn't use for cooking. There's tons of oak, and there's tons of bellota, the oak that bears the acorns.
Uh-huh.
And
that's the name of the oak.
Yes, that's the name of the oak.
Interesting.
The oak in Basque, it's called escurra. Escurra.
I've seen that word a lot. Yeah, I've seen that.
Because it's in my last name. Mari Escurra Rena.
God.
So Rena means house. Mari means Mari, which is the goddess of the Basque country. It's like, that's their god.
Of course.
So Mari Escurrena is the house of Mari, which is like the sorcerer of life. In the acorn forest.
Okay.
That's what my last name means.
Gorgeous.
It's kind of
amazing.
nice.
And that's where your restaurant should be.
In Escurra. I've been to Escurra.
Yeah.
I went there. It's wild. It is a thick, beautiful, like on the mountainside, just all acorn oak trees.
Wow.
It was pretty crazy to walk around there.
I just got some chestnuts to start growing. Did I talk about this before?
No.
You know, the American chestnut was completely devastated.
Is this the black chestnut? Or that's the black walnut? All right.
Black walnut. But
okay.
the chestnuts were completely devastated in the 20s, or, a long time ago, late 1800s anyway. And they cut them all down because they get some mold or something.
Okay.
They still can't grow them.
Interesting.
They're still they'll grow up for about 10 years, then die back to the roots, then grow back. So they can't but apparently they were so prevalent, and people would talk about walking around in chestnuts like up to their knees. They were just prolific trees, but those all died. So I got some Chinese chestnuts that I'm going to try to grow.
Of course, the Chinese ones, they'll survive anything, right?
There's like certain types that do grow.
Do you like chestnuts?
Sure.
Would you put chestnuts on your tasting menu?
Sure.
With like a roasted chicken or something?
Why not? That sounds amazing.
That does sound pretty good.
No. I guess chestnuts used to be much more a part of the American diet when there were chestnut trees around. It was very common.
That makes sense.
Because they're like a potato.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So so my restaurant, and I would love to try a chestnut. I want to try a pawpaw. You have pawpaws, right?
Yes.
I need a pawpaw as soon as possible.
Okay.
You tell me when the pawpaw's ready. I'm flying up for a pawpaw.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So
these crazy little blossoms that like smell. I think they like are.
They smell bad.
Well, they're like these crazy little. They look like
the ginkgo trees in Philly.
They're like a little. I can't quite remember the store with them, but there's a very specific thing that pollinates them. It doesn't smell bad like when you walk by. There's just something like that.
Yeah, because the
these crazy
ginkgo,
like red blossoms.
I don't know if it's I think it's the male ginkgo trees in Philadelphia.
And they grow them all over the place. It's kind of crazy that they grew a fruit-bearing tree in cities because they always create such a mess.
They do create a mess.
Yeah, but I think it's because they grow very straight.
They're also I love the leaves on a ginkgo.
Yeah,
they're
cool
like the
looking.
fanned
They're
out.
cool
Yeah,
looking.
they're beautiful. So
Your restaurant is a grill, not really a set menu.
So I
Or
think,
you do, this is what we have tonight. Here's what
Yeah.
here's what the fisherman caught. This is what we're having.
so what I would do is a seafood course to start. So that could be either oysters or shrimp, but a cold seafood thing to start of something, Then I would move into some sort of salad, whether it's local, grilled white asparagus with a little bit of olive oil or whatever,
Just,
or
throw a little white asparagus around.
yeah, let's throw it.
Yeah.
And you can there because it's plentiful and it's wonderful and it's the place to be. Then I
Even
would
the canned white asparagus.
they're
nice.
they're great. I would bring out some
I
olives.
see you have a lot of conservas.
Yeah, I could see myself doing it. But you're there, I would wait for anchovy season to bring the anchovies out. And
Sure.
I'd grill them, or I'm sorry, I'd fry them in like garlic and olive oil, and I'd bring them to the table. And then, everything comes with lots of great sourdough bread.
Sourdough.
Yeah.
Did not expect that.
I like masa madre style breads. I just I like when there's a little bit of tang in
Masa
bread.
madre means mother.
Masa madre means what's the thing everybody likes to feed?
the
mother.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Masa
No,
madre.
the mother's like, why is the name escaping me? Too many languages going around.
Yeah,
here.
I know. Sourdough. Starter. Yeah. It's like, but everybody's got like their starter. Yes.
The mother is with vinegar.
Yes, but it refers to that.
Same.
Right. Masa madre. Right. So I
Flower of mother.
who has some of the best?
Bogota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Cafe Bar Universal, they have insane bread, masa madre bread. Anyway, so I would do a cold seafood, oysters, let's say, with a fun mignonette or...
A fun mignonette. See, I don't necessarily like when people get a little too crazy with the mignonettes. I like a very standard mignonette. What do you mean when you say fun mignonette?
Oh, just like a classic mignonette.
Okay, classic.
Yeah, honestly,
Plenty of shallots. I like
Correct.
I like it when the shallots just kind of soak up the vinegar, but
Yes.
there's not really vinegar. You know what I mean?
Well, for me, fun is I'm not adding fruit or any bullshit, but I might throw a pink peppercorn in there
Interesting.
on top of the normal peppercorn.
Okay. Are
Like
you gonna bring some Tabasco to the Basque land?
Oh, that's what's going to be called.
Tabasco.
Tabasco. Tabasco.
That's right.
Perfect. I like that. Yeah. So in this restaurant, yes, I will have Tabasco. I will have it. And then I'll probably bring out olives. That'll be bread service. Olives, olive oil, really good culture. I like cultured butter.
I do too.
I like tangy butter. And then some good masa madre bread. And then probably do a fish course of some sort, like a warm fish course, or a warm course, whether it's like a
Grilled.
yeah, like some beautiful porcinis with some foie, something like I want
Foie gras big there? Do they have
Yeah.
like okay?
Foie is big.
It's so close to the south of France
That's
that I would
correct.
imagine.
Yeah, foie is big. So I do like a warm course of some sort, and that could be plancha razor clams with like a nice little tarragon vinaigrette, or it could be some foie and porcinis, like I mentioned, or it could be they do their version of the omelet is with around the cod season with shishito peppers and cod. So they'll so kind of showing
not salt cod.
salted cod, but definitely with all of the like rehydrated.
Okay.
Right.
And though the salt cod it's like a thick slab.
Yes, it's the big
And
loins.
you soak it for a day or two.
Yeah, you could use milk. You could use water.
Milk.
Yeah,
Interesting.
milk to like milk will pull it out even more and make it so that when you cook it, it's like super tender.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, milk has acid in it too.
Interesting.
Lactic acid.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like buttermilk brining a chicken or
Sure.
something. Then I would definitely do some sort of grilled meat. It could be grilled
Sheep.
Iberico pork.
Pork.
It could be a grilled. The chickens there are fucking insane. That with like some reduced shallots and chocolatey white wine, something like that. Definitely, mushrooms have to show up somewhere, whether it's in the appetizers or it's a side, right?
All year round.
All year round.
Okay.
So there's always
That's where you get, like,
chanterelles.
conservas or something maybe.
Yeah. And then Finish it off with the sheep's milk ice cream, which I love.
Yeah. You were telling me about that.
With whatever seasonal fruit or berry is available. So they make this. It tastes like cheesecake because the sheep's milk definitely has a little bit of a tang to it, but they make ice cream with this stuff, and they'll use the local honey to sweeten it sometimes. So they'll do like it's called cuajada, right? It's either sheep's or usually sheep's milk yogurt that is like cooked very lightly into like a flan, and top it with honey and sometimes some almonds or hazelnuts. But that flavor is very tangy, and it's almost like a really natural yogurt. They'll use that in ice cream too to like make like really tangy. So it tastes like really good cheesecake. So I would do that to finish it off. And
is there Basque cheesecake there? Like the Basque cheesecake?
Yes.
That's common there. Do they use Philadelphia cream cheese?
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, crazy.
It's so crazy to me. How did that happen?
I don't know.
It's so weird to me because
it's actually made in New York, you know.
I think I remember.
I mean, that's where it came
this.
from. It was started. Philadelphia cream cheese was started in New York.
When I go to the Basque
Not
country,
in Philadelphia,
and they're like, "Oh, your father's Basque," and blah blah blah. And my name is very Basque, so they're like, "You're obviously Basque, right?" But when I show them my ID or whatever, and they're like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, if I said Jersey, they'd be like, "Where the what?" Right? So you have two choices to describe where you're from. You could either say New York, because they know that, or you can say Philadelphia. And Philadelphia doesn't strike this, this automatic response of, oh, like the seat of independence for the entire free world, or the place where Benjamin Franklin decided to get hammered and go out and fly a kite with a key on it and discovered electricity and transformed the entire fucking civilization of... No, none of that. They go, oh, Philadelphia? I love the cheese.
Yeah.
That's it. Or Will Smith. Will Smith. So you got two things from Philly. That's it.
Got it.
And then the rest of it has zero
Rocky.
bearing.
A little Rocky.
You got Rocky, yeah. But I mean, it's always shocking to me. It's like, oh, you know that $100 bill
but
that everybody
isn't it funny
talks
that
about?
Philadelphia does not, the cream cheese does not come from Philadelphia. I believe that they called it Philadelphia cream cheese just because that's where the milk came from.
Oh,
it was something like that. That's how all the...
Like through Lancaster up to New York or something like that?
But they actually made Philadelphia cream cheese in New York.
It makes sense considering like the incredible connection to the bagel that Philadelphia cream cheese has. I mean, only because I think bagel, I think New York, obviously it's a big time Jewish deli and whatever food. But that makes sense to me.
Sure.
Because they could have just as easily used butter, but they used Philly cream cheese.
Yeah. So what is on your condiment rack in your Basque restaurant?
Condiment rack, good one. Definitely.
Is there any room for the dreaded? Not dreaded, but I don't want to say it.
For me,
I don't want to
for me,
launch
yeah.
into...
For me, yeah, I would have it. I won't say the unnamed until these motherfuckers decide that they're going to sponsor us.
We can bleep it.
I will have some B2.
Some B2.
Basque. I'm going to turn into the man I hate, and I'm going to start making my own steak sauce.
Yeah, there you
B2.
Go. Right on. What would you put it on? What would it go with?
I think it would just go right in the center of the plate. Right in the center of the
Basque
table.
dish, what are you going to put it on? Any kind of grilled meat? Any
grilled meat, yeah. Actually, dude, in Barcelona, I discovered this sauce called La Cala, salsa La Cala, which is it's essentially like tomatoes grilled, so they're smoky, pimenton, vinegar, onion, garlic, and it's like if
this is in the sauce or with the sauce?
This is in the sauce. This is in the sauce, and it's buzzed, right? So it's almost like it's not quite spicy enough to be hot
like
sauce.
Mexican,
Yeah, dude, it's fucking delicious. And I'm like, you could put that on anything. You could put it on bread. You can put it on. It's essentially like a Barcelona hot sauce. Yeah. It's really good.
I love to do that. Like just grill a bunch of vegetables up: tomatoes, jalapenos, onions, a few cloves of garlic, or even if just cook it on a skillet. Just gets a little bit of char on it and just buzz that up. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
So you're going to go Basque restaurant, but Basque items apart from a few condiments.
So I would do a Basque restaurant surrounded by the grill, all seasonal, and honestly, just to have fun and switch it up. Then let's say, for example, in the summertime, maybe I go Greek and I do Greek grill for the entire summer. And then the winter comes and I want to switch it up, and maybe it's time to do Parisian steakhouse, and it's just a steakhouse of the seasons.
Okay. Are you taking applications? Because that's where
you want to come eat. You want to come hang out? Yeah. Doesn't that sound fun?
That sounds
like
fun.
You do steak free for a whole fucking season.
I like how this whole thing started as like, you got to go back, and we've turned it into our retirement home.
Yeah, that's usually what we do, us crazy fucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, dinner only for certain. I am not going to show up anytime before 2:00.
How about brunch service?
Hell no.
Okay, done.
Hell to the no. I will allow a private brunch to be executed for $100,000. That is the minimum.
And you won't be there. You'll have your.
It must come with a full, like, deep champagne tasting for the entirety of the party.
Okay.
Comes with caviar. Comes with beautiful.
All the bells and whistles.
All the bells and whistles. This is an over the top brunch. I will sell it once a month. This is a 50-seat restaurant. It's going to be $2,000 a head.
Okay.
But it comes with Osetra and Beluga. We're doing it up. We're doing old bottles of Krug. We're doing all the new producers like Ulysses Collin, and we're going to do a little Prevost, and we're going to do some Salas. And you're going to leave this fucking brunch, it's going to be a whole new, like, I want to be there. Long story short, which is the only reason that we're doing it like this. But yeah, that's the only way I'll do brunch.
All right. Me too.
Cool. Yeah. So.
All right. Let's do it.
So you think when we walk outside, it's going to be normal in Manila, or?
I'm kind of hoping.
Yeah, I hope it is too. I don't want to do this. It would be fun for I'm
hoping for the opposite. I'm hoping we could go off to start a restaurant.
That'd be fun.
How many trees do I get in Spain?
You know what? You can have many apple trees in Spain.
Yeah.
We're gonna make cider too.
Just not in New York. I get one.
You get one. Well, no, but you got the miracle one. Yeah. It's gonna give a case of 36 apples of each flavor of apple that you want.
Make a little
every
cider.
day.
Awesome. I'm down. Let's do it.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, thanks for joining us on the Overseas.
Thank you. We're going back.
Podcast.
This is our last podcast in Manila for a bit.
Yep.
We'll be back in Bogota probably next time we do this.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm excited.
Me too.
I'm excited for a little masa madre. And Mangi Nasal is happening. I am freaking starving.
Let's do it.
So we're doing it right now, Tony.
All right.
Just so you know.
Let's go.
All right, cool. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. Thank you.
Overseason Podcast was brought to you by Over Easy Office, outsourced bookkeeping solution.